Welcome back to my Oklahoma City Cyclones franchise here on Access Football 2023. In the last video, we had a pretty big offseason, I would say. I spent a ton of money. We started Season 4. We have started 3-2. We made a lot of changes to this team. We got a lot of A-plus overall players, a new running back, a new receiver, some new O-linemen, and I think this team is a lot better, but as of right now, we are still 3-2 on the year. And we get to start this episode off with some scouting. So what about Gavin Hardy here? He drops from a B+ to a C. What about Nelson Wong? He drops to a C+. And what about Trevor Mariota here? He also drops to a C+. This division, we're going to scout a lot of DBs. I just scouted Graham Simon. I just forgot to commentate over it. But what about Travis Jensen? He drops from a B to a D+, so we're going to avoid the hell out of Travis Jensen. And what about Brent Crawford? He drops from a C+ to a C. And over here in the Southeast, what about Theodore Knight? He goes from a B to a C at linebacker. Francisco Hill drops down to a C. And what about wide receiver Calvin Nichols? Now we'll scout defensive lineman Tyrone Powers, who also drops down to a C. In the Northeast, let's go ahead and scout linebacker Lucas Watkins, who drops from a B+ to a B. And Lewis Rice goes from a B to a C. What about linebacker? That is still Lucas Watkins. What about linebacker Nathaniel Lawson? He goes from a B to a C+. We're also going to go ahead and spend some money here. We're going to go ahead and upgrade our aerobic room because it is down to good. We'll go ahead and repair that. We'll also repair our film room. And why not? Let's go ahead and drop $40 million. Probably a horrible idea. We're going to drop $40 million on a pool room here because it supposedly affects team morale, player progressions, and injury recover time. We may get some other stadium upgrades later in the year, but I've spent a lot of money now. So let's go ahead and simulate Week 6 against the Arizona Heat. And we improved to 4-2 on the season. We win in Week 6, 34-16. Guerrero throws for 243 yards and a touchdown. Jimenez runs for 242 yards and 3 touchdowns. That is why I brought him in. And their quarterback, 21 of 40, 189, 1 touchdown and a pick, and their running back held to 40 yards. Alright, and now not much to do in this week, so we will just go ahead and simulate Week 7 against the Carolina Rattlers, who are a divisional opponent. And we dropped this one 35-12. What happened here? Guerrero throws for 266 and a pick, no touchdowns. Jimenez runs for 189 yards and no touchdowns. Their quarterback throws 3 touchdowns, and they run for 68 yards and 2 more. I doubt Cincinnati's going to take this trade, but I am kind of mortgaging our future here. 2 first-round picks and a second, and Sterling Jimenez for an A+ overall DB, and they are not going to take that. What about just a ton of draft picks? Will you take that? No. I'm going to attempt to trade with St. Louis to try to get a defensive back, and they do take that trade. So we send Isaiah Jordan, a first-round pick next year, and a second-round pick next year to St. Louis, and now we have another solid defensive back. And here he is. Defensive back Braden Clark will be our probably #1 corner. He is an A overall. Hopefully that will help this defense out a little bit. I do need to bring in a backup quarterback now, so we're going to sign quarterback Derek Glover. Alright, hopefully that helps this team a little bit. Let's go ahead and simulate Week 8 against the Chicago Lakehawks. And we take home the win 41-12. Granted, they were like 1-6, so had we lost, I would have been pretty upset. Well, let's see. Guerrero throws 4 touchdowns and 264 yards. Jimenez runs for 107 yards and a score. We did get 1 pick. Let's see if that's our new guy. And it is not. It was actually Henniger who got the pick. Scouting now seems a little pointless because I don't have a first-round pick this year either because I think I traded that for a receiver. We'll go ahead and still scout. Defensive lineman Connor Alvarado, he drops to a C+ after he is getting done scouted. Elliott Gill drops to a C. And what about linebacker Steven Meredith? He goes to a C+. Over here in the Central, let's scout tight end Tucker Krill. He goes to a C+. We finished scouting him. He remains a C+. And what about defensive back Alfred Bascom? He drops down to a C. In the Southeast, let's scout wide receiver Calvin Nichols here, who goes down to a C. What about wide receiver Richard Brown? He also goes down to a C. And linebacker Jack Jenkins, he goes to a C+. And now in the Northeast, defensive lineman Connor Rivers goes to a B. Alright, so these two guys aren't horrible. If we can somehow land them, that'd be great, but with no first-round pick, I doubt that's happening. And linebacker Kendrick Green goes to a C+, and we have one more scouting point to use, so we will go ahead and use that on defensive lineman Jackson May, who goes to a C. But we are now halfway through the year, so let's go ahead and take a look at these stats. Guerrero has thrown for 2,100 yards, 16 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. On the ground, Wesley Jimenez already over 1,000 yards midway through the year and 9 touchdowns. And receiving, Noel Cox 558 yards and 2 scores, Watson 627 and 3 scores, and Owens 36 catches but 7 touchdowns. And over on defense, who is now leading the team in tackles? That is going to be Noah Atkins with 48. And sacks, that is Keaton Weber with 3. And interceptions, Tanner Gronkowski has 1. Owens has 1. All right, no one has more than 1. That's all we need to know. And let's check these stats. We have the number 1 offense in the league and now the number 18th defense. We're getting better, but we still need to play a lot better than that. 18th defense, but 12th on the pass defense and 23rd on rush defense. But now let's go ahead and simulate week 9 against the Carolina Rattlers. We played them a couple weeks ago and we lost 12-35. Let's see if we can get the win this time. And we do, 27-24. Let's see what happened here. Guerrero throws for 298, 1 touchdown and a pick. Jimenez runs for 151 and a score. And their quarterback throws 3 touchdowns on us, but they don't get the win. And now we get the Washington Senators, who are currently 8-1. So they are going to be one of the top teams in the league. Can we get the win over them? Yes, we can. 31-12. What happened here? Guerrero throws for 220 and 3 touchdowns. Jimenez runs for 143. We held their quarterback to 157 yards, 1 touchdown and a pick. And we held their running back to 62 yards on 23 carries. And I'm not sure why we get to play Denver 2 times in one season. I don't even think they're in our conference, let alone our division. Yeah, they're not on this side of the league. I don't know why I'm getting to play them twice. Maybe that's happened earlier in the series and I just didn't notice it. But yeah, they are currently 0-10, and I want to show you guys these stats here. Right now, we have the number 1 offense in the league in both passing and running the ball. And on defense, we are up to the 18th. We are now 9th in pass defense. We're 24th in rush defense, but it's whatever. Let's see if we can now get the win over Denver, and hopefully we don't give them their first win on the year. And we do not allow them to get their first win on the year on us, at least. We win 37-26, winning our 4th game in a row. Guerrero throws 45 times, 400 yards, 1 touchdown and a pick. Jimenez 151 and 2 scores. Their quarterback threw 2 touchdowns and their running back ran for 120 yards. But now we have some more scouting to do, so let's go ahead and scout defensive lineman Jeffrey Carmelo here, who goes to a C+. What about linebacker Warren Charles? He goes down to a C. All right, and tight end Carl Barnett also drops down to a C. It said that let me double check this. Tight end in the West is an A, but we have yet to find anyone that's even decent. In the Central Division, let's go and scout tight end Frank Mason. He drops to a C. What if we scroll back up and go ahead and scout running back Jordan Howe? I don't think we really need to scout running backs, actually. I think we're pretty set on that for a couple seasons. Defensive back Ryan Bullen goes to a C. And then we will scroll up here and scout tight end Tucker Krill. Never mind, we already actually finished scouting Tucker Krill. I thought that name sounded familiar. Defensive back Ross Nunez drops from a C+ to a C. In the Southeast, let's scout linebacker Gustavo Meyer, who drops to a C+. Let's go and scout him again. He drops even farther down to a C. That is not good for him. And then wide receiver Andrew Olson goes from a C+ to a C. And in the Northeast, what about linebacker Hugo Larson? Goes from a C+ to a C. Seeing a lot of that here. Linebacker Christian Mendoza also goes down to a C. All right, and do we have anyone up here we have not scouted? Defensive lineman Marquise Mendez. He goes from a C+ to a C as well. And I have not been checking these because I don't think we've won one the entire series. But Wesley Jimenez won an Offensive Player of the Week in Week 6 for running for 242 and 3 touchdowns. But in Week 11 last week, Wesley Jimenez won another one, but Gerald Richardson also won one for his pick 6 apparently. But now it is Week 12 against the San Francisco Sharks. Can we pick up a win? Yes, we do, in pretty dominating fashion, 22-3. Guerrero throws for 254 and a touchdown. Jimenez 88 yards and a touchdown. Their quarterback did not find the end zone at all. Neither did the running back. Well, obviously they didn't. They only got 3 points. And this will be the last one I do in this video. It is Week 13 against the Nebraska Thunder. We come in at 9-3. They are 6-6. Let's see if we can end this video on a 6th straight win. Should have stopped while I was ahead. We lose this game 35-27 to Nebraska. What exactly happened? Our quarterback only throws for 176 yards, 1 touchdown and a pick. Jimenez does run for 90 yards and a touchdown. Guerrero also got a touchdown. Their quarterback 218 and a score, but their running back ran in for 3 touchdowns. And we are a little more than 3/4 of the way through the year. We only have 3 games left, but here are the season stats as of right now. Mitchell Guerrero, 3,400 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 11 picks. Running the ball, Wesley Jimenez, 1,700 yards and 14 touchdowns. And receiving, Ronald Watson, 105 catches, 980 yards, and 5 scores. Noel Cox has 3 touchdowns, but Owen's still down there leading the team with the least amount of catches out of the top receivers and 8 touchdowns. What about on defense? Leading the team in tackles is going to be Gerald Richardson. In sacks is Keaton Weber with 4. In interceptions, Julio Henniger has 2. And we still have the #1 offense in the league, but on defense, we are 19th right now. We are the 28th rush defense. I don't really know how to fix that because I feel like I have a pretty solid front 7, but they're just running the ball on us anyway. Maybe it's because it's a 3-4 scheme. I have no idea, but either way, in the next video, we will wrap up season 4, see if we can get to the playoffs. We should be able to, but this is a really, really tight divisional race right now. We are 9-4, they are 8-5. But yeah, in the next video, we will figure out if we make the playoffs and figure out how far we go, and we will move on from there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys next time.